Reg Tuffin. He was lying right next to me and he got shot. I just heard this, he gave a bit of a noise and I looked down there, he'd been shot, he was dead. The bullets were coming through, there was long grass. You could hear these bullets zapping through the grass. I think Jack Sherman will tell you about that. They were making a sort of a whipping noise as they were going through the grass, but nobody else got hit. And then we had to fall back. They pulled us back from there, and we passed a lot of boxes with big crates with unassembled fighter planes in it.
Yes.
Remember
and the day of when the Allies capitulated, what was that like?
we were at a place called Buena Vista. It was a Chinese cemetery up on the hill with all these big gravestones. We were down just run over. We got shelled very badly on Friday the 13th. A lot of our chaps were hit very badly. That author, Albert Facey, his son was killed there. And yeah, it was on. Mick Wedge was with us, and I remember him coming and another officer named Learmonth. And they said, you know, that there was going to be a ceasefire at 8 o'clock that night. You know, Singapore had capitulated. You know, it was terrible news to tell us. You know, we were ready to keep on, you know, fighting, but that was it.
Yes. So you become a prisoner of war on the 15th, and
we were there for a couple of days. We were told we had to put all our rifles in a heap. We marched out and I broke off the firing pin on my rifle. We put them all in a heap. That's the first Jap I'd seen up close. He was a great big guy, and he had his sword out, and he was under a tree and he was going like that, slicing off the leaves of this tree with this big sword. I thought, this doesn't look too good.
No. So, were you actually in Selarang barracks when you had to sign the non-escape?
No, I was in Adam Park, but we had the same thing to sign, but I think I signed Mickey Mouse or some name like that. Nobody signed the right name.
No. So when did you know that you were going to go to, you were going to leave Singapore and go somewhere else?
Around about March 1943.
Yes. How were you told that?
Oh, we were going to go up north. There was going to be a better camp and better food and things. We thought we were going to a better place.
Yes. Well, we won't cover your journey up there because it's been well covered, but essentially I suppose it was you were crowded into these railway trucks, no toilet facilities, very little food, nowhere to lie down, and you arrived in
Bampong
in Thailand. Now, where did you go to from Bampong?
We just seemed to be there for a couple of days with nothing much to do. And then all of a sudden the Japs came and sort of organised us and got us. All I can remember from then on is marching from there up to K2 camp.
Yes.
Seemed to be always climbing a bit. Never seemed to be on the flat.
Now, Konyu 2 was nowhere near the river, was it? It was quite some distance back from the river?
Well, I didn't know where the river was,
no.
So I didn't know where I was.
No.
But then the rain started and everything was that muddy and the camp was flooded.
So what was your first, what work were you as a POW put to do when you were in Konyu 2?
Hammer and tap.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And who was your buddy?
Reg Pascal. Reg Pascal. He passed away now. He had a go at holding the drill. And I was hanging it, and then we changed over, and now and again he'd miss, and you know, we had to drill it down so far, and the Jap had come along and put his dynamite in, and first of all, you'd only had to do a certain distance and you could go home, but next day they made it further and further, so in the end it was almost impossible to do it in a day, you know. You'd whack into this rock, and you had a bit of wire with a hook on the end, and you'd put water in and pull out the stuff. Yeah.
Yes, all the dust and what have you, and chips.
Yeah, and the Jap prowling around, you know, whacking you with pick handles or anything.
Now you talk about having your hand hit with a glancing blow from the sledgehammer. Did you ever see anything like a tong used to hold the drill so the hands were kept away?
No, I never saw that. No. All we did was hold it like that.
Yeah.
And another danger was sparks too.
Oh.
You'd hit the end and you know.
And what it didn't sometimes the steel of the drill splinter off?
Yes, it would burn over.
Yes, yeah. And then it would break off.
Break off, yeah.
And did you ever get?
It was a nasty job, and then when they used to dynamite it, you know, they'd move us back, but not very far, and you get under trees and rocks would come down like big hailstones, crashing around you, and then you had to go back with these silly little baskets. One hand, the other guy have another one. You'd carry all these broken rocks and tip them over the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think you said that you were working in what is commonly referred to as Hellfire Pass, or it was called Konyu Cutting, I think, at the time.
Right, yeah.
Or the cutting. Were you there when it was finished in August?
No.
So where were you moved to?
Up to Hintok.
Yeah, and what's your impression of that camp?
Oh, that was terrible, muddy, and that was when the guys started to get cholera. I came home from walking home one night from work with this chap, Moya, his name was.
Oh, yes.
And he said, oh, geez. You know, he had pains in his stomach and cramps. I said, oh, you better see, you know, better report as soon as you get back. He was dead the next day we come home. I remember carrying him out. We put him on a big heap of bamboo and, you know, cremated him.
So, who was your doctor in Konyu 2 and in Hintok?
Well, Millard was in Konyu 2, but I can't remember in Hintok.
Now, Hintok Camp, do you remember the layout of it? Can you tell me anything about the geography of Hintok Camp?
It's all very muddy. It seemed to be on a slope.
Was there a British camp nearby that you're aware of?
Yes, I think there might have been a British camp near us.
What about coolies? Any coolies?
I saw coolies coming through all the time.
Now, didn't the road pass through the camp?
Yes. I can remember going to work one day, and we had to go through a coolie camp, and it was, oh God, it was terrible. I remember trying to hold my breath. The blokes with bodies lying around, and yeah, they were dying like flies. Yeah.
Now, Hintok was allegedly one of the few camps